The price of greed. In the heart of Ojanla, a peaceful village surrounded by lush green fields and golden farmlands, lived Baba Benro, the wealthiest farmer in the land. But wealth did not make him respected, it only made him feared and mocked. Baba Benro was not an ordinary man. His belly, round like a giant calabash, wobbled as he walked through the village, his thick fingers always holding a piece of roasted meat, a tuber of yam, or a gourd of palm wine. If there was food in sight, Baba Benro would eat it. If there was a woman nearby, he would flirt. "Oh, Mama Busy, your soup smells sweeter than the god's own feast," he would say, licking his lips as he peered into the cooking pots of the village women. "Chai! Fatima, if only I were younger, I would have married you today," he would chuckle, winking at young maidens who rolled their eyes and hurried away. Despite his wealth, Baba Benro was never satisfied. He owned the largest yam barns, the fattest goats, and the most fertile farmlands, yet his hunger for food and pleasure knew no bounds. He refused to share, refused to help the poor, and worst of all, he cheated the villagers to gain even more. One evening, as he sat under the big Iroko tree, chewing on a giant piece of bushmeat, an old beggar approached him. "Baba Benro, please, my children have not eaten in 2 days. Could you spare us some yams?" the frail man pleaded. Baba Benro burst into laughter, his round belly shaking like a drum. "Why should I feed your children? Did I give birth to them?" he scoffed, waving the man away. The old man sighed and shook his head. "Greed is a dangerous disease, Baba Benro. One day, you will eat more than your stomach can hold." The villagers murmured, nodding in agreement. But Baba Benro simply laughed louder, stuffing another piece of meat into his mouth. "Go and tell your gods that Baba Benro fears no one, not even hunger," he boasted. Little did he know, the gods were listening. The night after Baba Benro mocked the old beggar, Ojanla village was silent. The air was heavy, as if the gods themselves were watching. The only sound was the croaking of frogs and the distant hoots of an owl, the bad omen in the village. Baba Benro, however, slept like a satisfied lion, his belly full of pounded yam and egusi soup. He had eaten enough food for 5 men that evening, drinking gourds of palm wine until his eyelids became heavy. As he lay snoring on his large bamboo bed, something strange happened. A cold wind swept through his hut, even though it was the dry season. His oil lamp flickered, and then the room went dark. Suddenly, a deep voice filled the air. "Baba Benro. Baba Benro. Your greed has angered the gods." Baba Benro's eyes flew open, his heart pounding like a talking drum. He tried to move, but his body was frozen in place. Standing at the foot of his bed was a tall, shadowy figure, wrapped in a flowing white robe. Its face was hidden, but its eyes burned like fire. "You have taken more than you need, yet you refuse to give to those who have nothing," the voice boomed. Baba Benro shivered in fear. Sweat dripped down his forehead, his belly suddenly feeling lighter, as if the food he had eaten had vanished. Who are you?" he stammered. The figure stepped closer. "I am the spirit of age, the goddess of wealth. The one who blessed you with riches, but you have abused your gift." The hut shook as the voice grew louder. "You mock the poor, you steal from the helpless, you waste food while others starve." Baba Benro tried to speak, but his tongue felt heavy. He could only tremble as the spirit continued. "The gods have spoken. If you do not change your ways, Baba Benro, you will eat, but your hunger will never be satisfied." And with that, the spirit vanished, leaving behind only a whispering wind.